towards the end of colonization in most African nations that were colonized, in the late 50s, early 60s, you had this wave of independences happening on African nations.
Yep.
And so, but what happened is before that happened, before the end of colonialism happened, you were having Gandhi, who was doing such great strides. Like here you had this the biggest colonized nation on earth, about to be freed from the biggest colonizer on earth, Great Britain, and I mean there was a wind of optimism going on in the world of the colonized, know, and the Africans surely were watching as well. And then you had these people who would become what we call together the liberators of Africa. These are the ones who were also fighting for the liberation of these African nations. And you had people like Jomo Kenyatta. You had Julius Nyerere of Tanzania. So all of those people were starting to bubble up. But what happened is, I will teach you nothing if I say to you that back in those days, though, what was going on? You had these two great ideologies fighting with one another. On one side, represented by the West, defending freedom and using capitalism as their economic system, facing off with various statism, from the Eastern Bloc. Right? And these two ideologies were fighting. So it was freedom on one end and statism on the other end. This one was using capitalism as its economic system, and these guys were using various forms of controlled systems for their economic systems. But they were fighting, and usually what happens is ideologies fight for influence, and they were looking for influence south, looking down south to Central America, all the way to Latin America, Africa, all of that. And so us, again, and this is easy for me to understand because put yourself in the shoes of these African liberators. Socialism, communism, those ideologies were en vogue. Most people were.
Right, academics.
The academics were that. We were being lied by the Soviet Union that, that stuff worked, when we only found out later it was not working.
Plus, I imagine you were previously colonized countries were wanting to stick the middle finger up to their colonizers. And it's like, well, wait, if the UK are doing that thing,
yes,
let's not do that.
So what happened is, here are our people, our liberators, who are fighting. We had come out of slavery, then colonialism. Colonialism, we were just into it and about to come out of it. And them saying, look, you guys, the West, are the ones who colonized us. And so surely whatever it is that you're promoting, we're going to be against you. Also this whole attitude of the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Right.
So in this case, we're going to go side with the Eastern Bloc and the ideologies they were peddling.
Let's become socialist.
Exactly. So this is when we threw the baby out with the bathwater, in this case, capitalism, which, by the way, the capitalism part, which is an economic system. See, people also confuse capitalism with a governance system. The governance system doesn't have to be the same as your economic system. It can be separated. And that's another problem that people have a hard time understanding. But anyways, when they threw the baby out with the bathwater, in this case, capitalism was the baby, they threw it out with the bathwater. What happened there is that was in flagrant denial and misunderstanding of our African roots prior to slavery.